people, your boy's back with another banger. We have Bruce 2 back at it again. My God. Bruce 2, you have been holding it down for years. Shout out to you. Awkward situations. Now let's get straight to it. See what the homie is talking about.
All right. Now, throughout my life, I've experienced plenty of awkward situations. I don't know if I'm like some sort of awkwardness magnet or what, but they tend to happen quite often. And today I'd like to go over 3 specific awkward situations that were a little bit more awkward than usual, if you will. Okay. Now, this first story occurred a long time ago when I was driving home from work one day. I pull up in front of my house, and that's when I notice that there's a neighbor kid in my yard poking a dead squirrel with a wiffle ball bat. Now, I really didn't think this was all that weird at first. Hell, if anything, I was kind of excited for the kid. I was like, oh, look at that. A kid playing with a dead animal, just like the olden times when I was a child. Yep. How neat. So I get out of my...
That's crazy because kids don't go outside anymore, man. That is so crazy. Back in the day, like I told you, parents used to force you to come back into the house. Nowadays, parents have to force you to leave. Isn't that crazy? Y'all, what are y'all doing? Y'all on your phones all day? Y'all playing games? Y'all on your iPads? Whatever it is you kids are doing indoors, y'all got to get outside. Play with the nature. Like you said, play with the dead animals. Go outside, get hurt a little bit, come back with bruises. No, the good old days.
Car, and I yell out to this kid nonchalantly, "Hey, what you doing over there? Are you making a new friend?" Now this kid looks up at me and all of a sudden just starts wailing his ass off.
How old is this kid?
Now I don't know if you've ever accidentally made a child cry openly in public, but it's a wildly uncomfortable situation to be in. He runs over to his dad, who's cutting the grass at the time. And side note, I don't really know this kid's dad all that well. I mean, we've been neighbors for years at this point, but, well, we've only really had one actual conversation before. And that conversation went something along...
Isn't that so weird how the world has changed? Back in the day, everything was about being in the community. Nowadays, you don't even talk to your neighbor. You might say hello when you go outside. Maybe you cutting the lawn. Maybe you trying to get to the mailbox. That's about it. Other than that, people don't talk. Maybe if their kid comes to your house, that's the only way you guys can communicate. But it's sad.
On the lines of me being like, "Hey there, neighbor. How's it going?" Oh, okay. Well, I'll promptly go fuck myself. How about that? Well, this guy cuts off his lawnmower, and he says to me, how did he put it? Oh, yeah, that's right. He said, what the fuck did you just say to my kid? Now, at first, I didn't know what to say. I mean, everything happened so fast. I thought I just asked the kid what he was doing. But judging by his reaction, hell, I might have told him to go fuck himself, and then I was gonna go kill his family dog. I just asked if he was making a new friend.
You know what I really like about Bruce, too? He has not changed. He swears like he did 10 years ago. You know how YouTube is nowadays, man. As soon as you drop one F-bomb, they get you out of there. So the fact that he still sticks to his old ways, it's funny.
With a dead fucking squirrel? Yeah, well, it's kind of weird when you put it like that. Don't ever talk to my kid again, you fucking pervert. What the hell's the matter with you? And just like that, that was the...
That is so true. Like in today's world, you can't even say, remember when kids were cute and you go play around with them, you say hello, you high five them. Nowadays, you are a P word if you try to talk to a child. Even stay away. Like, hey, little kid, get the hell away from me. That's how you got to treat them.
End of the discussion. He went back to cutting his grass. I'm labeled as the fucking neighborhood pervert now. And for the rest of the years that I lived there, I'm pretty sure he slandered my ass silly to the rest of the neighborhood. Hey, watch out for this guy. He'll fucking try to get your kid to play with dead animals. Be on the lookout. So after that little instance, I decided I'm just not going to talk to people anymore. To hell with casual conversation. Because one minute you're asking a kid a question, and the next minute you're on a goddamn registry of some sort. It's stupid. But even when I do manage to keep my mouth shut, I still find myself in plenty of awkward situations. Like, for example, not too long ago, I was at Krogers buying beer. And Krogers, for those of you that don't know, is a grocery store in the Midwest. You might have like an Albertsons where you live, or like a Winn-Dixie, or what the fuck Florida people have. But here we have Krogers, a.k.a. K. Rogers, a.k.a. Kenny Rogers. That's what I call it. So anyways, I'm at the Kenny Rogers with my case of Miller Lite when suddenly...
I can tell my man Bruce is white as hell. Did he get a Miller Lite? First of all, drinking beer is nasty. I don't know if you're a beer person, but no, I'll take liquor, you feel me? But hey, kids, don't drink now.
My wife calls me up on the phone and she's like, "Hey, sorry to make you do this, but I really need you to buy me a box of tampons. And please, for the love of God, don't..."
Yo! Oh, man, if you have never been through this, you have no clue what to do. I would have such an awkward situation where she sent me to go get it, and I'm in the line, and I'm sitting there, and I'm looking through all of them. I'm like, yo, what the hell am I supposed to buy? The old lady next to me starts laughing because she can tell someone sent me there to do it.
Make this into a shitty little internet cartoon. Now, I know a lot of husbands are embarrassed to buy lady products for their wives. They get all paranoid for whatever reason, like somebody's gonna call their ass out, like, "Ah, sick, look, this dude's buying tampons. Those are for women, you sick fucking pervert." And I don't get embarrassed. That's never been an issue for me. If anything, I'll hoist that damn box of tampons above my head like it's a fucking Stanley Cup. Attention all
That means you getting some P-word at home, you feel me?
I am a man buying tampons for my bleeding wife. So I'm standing in line for the cashier, holding my case of Miller Lights and my box of Tampax Pearls. Well, it was right about then that I start thinking about something that I saw on TV a while back. And that something was like an episode of 60 Minutes or some shit, where they were doing a story about teenagers who soak tampons in alcohol, and then they, shove them up their asses to get super drunk.
Oh, snap! Oh, this is some white boy stuff right here. Oh, my God. There's no way black kids are doing this. This is some white boy stuff right here. What? Sticking it so it's going through the... No. That will burn. Nah.
I'm not making this up. This is a real fucking thing I seen on TV. The news anchor was like, "Are your kids shoving beer-infused tampons up their assholes? More at 11. Or whatever the fuck he said. Well, now I start getting a little paranoid because now I look like the goddamn poster child of this newfangled teenage trend. I look back at the dude behind me, and he's giving me a look like he fucking seen the same episode of 60 Minutes that I did. Boy, looks like you got quite the night planned out for yourself now, don't ya? So I go to check out, and I can tell that the cashier is totally perplexed at my choice of groceries. He's looking at the tampons and beer, then back at me, and then back at the tampons and beer, and he's trying to figure out what the fuck the correlation is.
Don't tell me the cashier's watched the same 60-minute news. He's thinking in his mind that you about to go shove it up your butt too.
Between these two products. Well, now I feel like I have to speak up and try to defend myself to some degree. Look, it's really not what it looks like, okay? What's not what it looks like? The beer and the tampons. I'm not, doing anything weird with them. Why would I think that in the first place? Oh, because apparently teenagers soak these things in alcohol, and then they shove them up their assholes. What the fuck are you talking about? You know what? Never mind. Forget everything I said. I have to leave now. And then I promptly ran out of that Kenny Rogers like the building was on fire, and I haven't been back there since. Crikey, that pervert's totally jamming them things up his bumhole. All right, so now all of a sudden I'm the neighborhood pervert, and I'm the guy who shoves tampons up my ass. That's quite the reputation I'm building for myself. What can I say? Now, thankfully, this last story has less to do with me and more to do with a couple of friends of ours. Now, these aren't exactly close friends, I would say. At least not close enough for me to not tell this story to the general public. But I will change their names in this shitty cartoon to protect their privacy, if you will. So this story begins with me and my wife going on a canoe trip with our friends, Jimothy and Stenifer. And this wasn't a very crazy canoe trip that we took. It was only like 4 hours or so. You shoot your ass down a river and try not to drown. Then they pick you up in a van and take you back to the parking lot. Okay. Nothing awkward about that, right? Well, after the trip's over, we're standing there waiting for the shuttle to pick us up. And good old Jimothy over here starts talking about this vacation that they took in Wisconsin. Dude, Wisconsin is badass. There's fucking cheese, and there's cows, and there's more cheese. Now, I did not give a fuck about this story to begin with because, who the hell takes a vacation to Wisconsin in the first place? But I try to be polite. I stand there and listen to a story. Oh, well, that's pretty neat. Wisconsin, huh? Never heard of the place. Well, Jimothy decides to pull out his phone to show me this Airbnb that they stayed at, and this is where things get a little weird. Now, you have to understand that all this happened in a matter of seconds, so I'm gonna have to slow things down and do a little play-by-play. First, Jimothy pulls out his phone. He then pulls up his web browser. On his web browser was a Google search that I'm assuming Jimothy Googled prior to this canoe trip. And that Google search, of course, was pegging for beginners.
What?
Now, if you're not familiar with what pegging is, well, my ass is not gonna tell you. That's a version of the birds and bees I'm not trying to fucking have with the general public, all right? Just know that it's a very intimate activity between Jimothy and Stenifer. And I'm sure neither of their asses wanted me to know about it. Well, in the fraction of the second that this all took place, Jimothy's ass abruptly turns off his phone, and he's like, "You guys want to talk about something else? Fuck Wisconsin. Canoeing is fun, wasn't it? I love canoeing so much." Now, I don't know how you're supposed to...
Oh, that is so true. Let me tell you something weird. When you have to tell somebody or show them, or when you have to give somebody your phone and they have to use it, you have to make sure, if you've been on those websites that don't need to be seen, or you have pictures or videos that don't need to be seen, you need to make sure you clear that out. Or, hey, let me do it for you.
handle a situation such as this, but I just pretended that I didn't see what I saw, even though I totally saw what I fucking seen. All I can say is that van ride back was extremely awkward, and casual conversation was very difficult.
Yep.
Boy, those rapids that we encountered sure were a pain in the ass, weren't they? You'd fucking know, wouldn't you? Huh? Nothing. Yeah, at least it was nice and calm on that last peg of the river. Leg of the river. So yeah, there you have it. There's 3 awkward situations that I really wish I wasn't a part of. I'm sorry that 2 out of the 3 stories had to do with things being inserted into asses, but that's the way it goes. Like Meatloaf said, 2 out of 3 ass stories ain't bad. And to Jimothy, if you're out there watching this, which, there's a good chance that you are, I'm sorry I had to slander your ass 6 ways to Sunday, and I wish you no hard feelings whatsoever. Unless, of course, those hard feelings are in your asshole. Then I wish you all the hard feelings. All of them in the whole wide world. The end.
All right. Shout out to my boy Bruce, who great entertainment. He always keeps it going. He always got some humor in it. Boy, he's been doing this for such a long time. I thought I've been grinding for a while. He has so many stories. I'm tuned in. I'm always going to be tuned in. I don't care if he's 50, 60, however old he is. I'm going to keep watching, man. See you in the next one. Your boy is out.